Did you know that the style and accuracy rubric is the same for both narrative and descriptive writing? That is why we analyze A-star students' work in both forms in order to understand what made their writing style stand out. In this video, I'll share with you 4 success tips that A-star students use which directly align with the style and accuracy rubric of the narrative and descriptive mark scheme. So, are you ready to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Join me. Now for the writing rubric, the top band descriptor says precise, well-chosen vocabulary and varied sentence structure chosen for effect, highly effective use of language to engage the reader, and spelling, punctuation, grammar almost always accurate. Now let's decode these word choices. For use of precise, well-chosen vocabulary for effect. Now, what is precise? Precise means use of suitable words and phrases to create a certain tone and mood. Now, the A-star students know that this is really important to create in their narrative. For example, if the sentence says, Rakesh walked through the snow, the students perfectly understand that the word walk is very limited in its communication. It does not really tell us much more than the movement of Rakesh in the snow. It does not tell us what is his mood, so they choose high action verbs. For example, they would write, Rakesh trudged through the snow, his shoulders hunched and eyes downcast. Now the word trudge itself tells us that Rakesh's footsteps are a little heavy. There is a sort of tiredness in his body, and hunching of shoulders and downcast eyes tell us that probably Rakesh is thinking and carrying the weight while walking. There is a kind of tone of sadness that's been set here. So A-star students make sure that there is a precise, well-chosen vocabulary. Now, well-chosen vocabulary could sometimes also mean use of very accurate metaphors and similes, which most A-star students take care of. Like, for example, if a person is running and is very tired and muscles have got stiff. Now, in order to compare the stiffness of the muscles, in this way, my muscles popped out like leech sticking to someone's skin. Now, the stiffness of the muscles with the leech, not accurate. So instead, the students know that this must be compared to something which has a property of stiffness. For example, like an old tree trunk. Maybe the muscles could also be compared with like the veins bulging like angry ropes. Now that is a more accurate comparison of the stiffness of the legs. And the students who score high are very clear about creating accurate word choices for comparisons using metaphors and similes. Use of varied sentence structure for effect. Now this is something very smartly all students who have high scoring narratives really do, which means that you must use simple, compound and complex sentences in your narrative and deliberately use them to create effect. Your narrative moves from happy moments to tense moments to relaxed moments, and your sentence choices should mirror those emotions in your narrative. That's why use of varied sentence structure is almost imperative to be used in your narrative writing. Spelling, punctuation and grammar almost always accurate. This looks to be no-brainer, and most A-star students, not only they do not have any errors in their punctuation, spellings and grammar, but they also try to show their competence by using semicolon, colon and effectively using punctuation to create effect. This may look like very simple tip to you, but this is one of the most important because error in spelling, punctuation, grammar really break the rhythmic flow of the narrative. That takes me to my last tip, which is effective use of language to engage the reader. So anyone who wants high scoring narrative would make sure that there is correct syntax, there is precise, well-chosen vocabulary, there is varied sentence structure, but they will also take care that the order of the events is really interesting to create the effect. Also, the students make sure that there are always word choices related to the context or the prompt, by which I mean if the prompt says overcoming fear. So there is a kind of understanding that for this prompt, there would be word choices like assuage, facing, resilient, brave, so on and so forth. And the A-star students make sure that the narrative at the end of the day not only is very interesting in its story, but also written with utmost accuracy and effect. Now these tips are really simple. I want you to trust, believe and rise and shine. Thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe. Every week, I make videos on IGCSE English Language and Literature. And if you subscribe, you'll be notified when a new video is released.